Oh my goodness. Okay, so I get to come out of hibernation now. Is that it? I take a week off and... Oh my gosh, let me stretch real quick. Okay. Yep, that's good. All right. Good morning again, Daniel Valdez again. Thank you for joining me after a week off. Lots happened since then. We had nationals and then the off season. I'm sure a lot of you are going through withdrawals. A lot of you are clutching ponchos that you were wearing in the rain during football games in a dark corner of your house. I'm sure some of your parents are still trying to sell concessions at dinner. Mom, please. We've had nachos 4 nights in a row. My heart hurts. So I'll continue doing these things. We'll talk about a variety of topics, or if there's something specific you want to hear, please get back to me. I'm all ears. I'm always open for suggestions. I'll always listen. So here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is we're going to give proper props to Prosper. Yes, I've been thinking about that for a week, and I have practiced it in the mirror, and it came out pretty well, so thank you. We'll give them their proper due for going to nationals and planting the flag in the middle of the, I almost said RCA Dome, flashback, to Lucas Oil Stadium with an impressive performance there. And then, finally, I've gotten a lot of messages on this. I'm going to fix the UIL in a very tactful way. So stay tuned for that. First things first, congratulations to Prosper High School. Second time going to nationals. First time making national finals. Congratulations, Prosper. 11, tied for 11th in finals. They were actually 7th in semis. Look at the final scores. 12th through 8th place were like within a point of each other. I mean, it was really, that bottom half of finals was just clustered with really, really good performances and really good shows. Very unique shows. So it's no surprise that everybody was kind of jumbled up right then and there. It could have gone either way. Again, 7th in semis. That is one heck of an accomplishment. Now think about the last week they've been through. They came down for San Antonio Super Regional. Great. They stay, and they do state early last week. Then they hop on a plane. Then they go to nationals where it's freezing and it's snowing. So they go there and they rattle off 3 performances, prelims, semis, and finals. Got to give them their proper due. The school's been around since like 1865. It's been out there forever, it seems like. But recently their marching band has really stepped up the game. So this is going to be something. This is going to be a program to watch in the future. I'm so proud of them. Thank you. Thank you so much for going out there and representing Texas and planting the flag in the middle of the field. Figuratively, not literally. I don't think it happened literally. I think somebody would have gotten arrested if somebody actually did that in real life. I want to thank you big thanks to Mr. John Alstron, the director of bands at Prosper. He let our TexasBands.com staff follow them through their semis journey. From the time they got off the bus to the time they went to visual warm-up, to musical warm-up, through the tunnel, through their performance, and then exiting the field. You know, obviously we did not want to be a distraction. Because it's semis, it's nationals is very intense. It's very intense. You got a lot of you have a lot of audience members that kind of sit on their hands during semis because they want to go nuts for their program and nobody else, which I completely understand. So thank you so much to Mr. Alstron for letting our staff follow them all the way through. A massive response from people on social media through the Facebook page. We had photos and videos and all sorts of stuff. Thank you so much for the staff for letting us follow you around. It was awesome. Just thank you so much. We love getting that coverage. People love seeing that inside access because, you know, a lot of parents, they just kind of see the finished product. They don't really see what it's like to get off the bus and be outside for a little bit and then do visual warm up and how that whole process works. We're happy to have peeled back the curtain a little bit. So congratulations, Prosper. You've made us Texas proud, so proud. Ready to plant the flag. Proud of you guys. Awesome stuff. Now that the season's over, now that we've eliminated all the concession food from our bodies and hopefully detoxed and saunaed it out and float therapy and whatever the heck you guys want to do, this has been a hot topic. And when I say a hot topic, it's basically, what I mean by that is it's consumed the forums boards at TexasBands.com. It's consumed it. And I like that. I like that People are passionate about this stuff. People want to, people want to talk about this stuff. I'm all for that. Perfect. We need to talk about UIL. And again, I'm going to do this in a very tasteful way. I'm going to do this very tactfully. So let's just start. And it's going to be a little bit of a long thing. I'm going to try to put timestamps in here and everything, but I apologize if it goes long or whatever. But I think it's important to understand both sides of the situation. It's important to see why processes are in place, how they're executed, and what can be done to improve them. So here we go. So every year, so you got this UIL system. Area, state, same thing. 3 music judges, 2 marching judges. 3 music judges get the exact same score sheet. 2 marching judges get the exact same score sheet. Area prelims, area finals, state prelims, state finals. Cool, cool. The system's been in place for a while now. And every year, when area results come out, when state results come out, it seems like there are people who take issue with the system. And I understand that. I totally get that. Very plausible. Whether they feel that their program should have deserved better, whether certain programs were rewarded that they didn't think should have been rewarded. I think the main thing that's kind of the topic of conversation is having one judge either decide the entire fate of the program, essentially, whether it's positive or negative. The conversation kind of skews towards negative, but I mean, it happens on the positive side too. Does one judge have too much power in the UIL system? I think it does. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and get into, why the system is in place and how we can fix it. So the basic question, does one judge have too much power in the UIL system? Yes. Why is the system in place? Here we go. The reason the system is in place is because this state is really, 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 really big. That's the easy way of putting it. Here is a longer way of putting it. Because the state is so big, there are different interpretations of what marching band should be all across the state. And they basically fall into 3 categories. You have the artistic side, where, you're essentially either trying to tell a story, or you are using visual cues, visual interpretations to communicate to the audience, whether it's props, whether it's backdrops, whether it's visual movement, body movement, making shapes and making specific pictures in the drill and whatnot. They see the form of these, and I'm not going to put out specific programs, but these programs see marching band as an art. It's not just all about playing music and marching drill. There's more to it. There's more motion. There's more music. There's a greater world out there that they wish to explore. There's the artistic side. Second side, I guess you could say, the second philosophy is just straight up marching and playing the show. Maybe you get a little bit of tweaking with arrangements and stuff like that, but for the most part, you're playing music and you're marching the drill. Not too much in terms of visual interpretation, not too much in terms of body movement or anything like that. It's a straight up marching band show. Boom, done. The third side of that, or the third philosophy, is military marching. 6 to 5 step size, pretty much like a military style marching uniform. Stripe down the leg, accentuates leg extension, white shoes, playing military marches up and down the field. Block, angular drill, not much in terms of curved forms, probably no curved forms, no guard, no pit, and you're basically facing the direction that you're playing. You're moving to side 1, you're facing side 1. Usually at the end, usually at the start, you're facing forward. Usually at the end, you're facing forward. All three are wonderful in their own way. It's like children. You're all special in your own way. Because you have those three varying philosophies of marching band in this state. Now keep in mind, they don't have necessarily military marching any other place. That's why I love when my friends come down from other states and watch the military programs do their thing. Their brains melt. It's awesome to watch. But because there are these many philosophies out there, UIL has taken the position that we need to come up with a system that is going to judge all three of these philosophies as fairly as possible. Because there's so many of them. Remember, you got to take care of El Paso, Amarillo, Beaumont, and Brownsville, and everybody in between. Everything in between. So as a roundabout judging system sort of thing, that's what they've come up with. Now, how do we improve upon that? Now, keep in mind, no matter what system is in place, if you feel that your program isn't being rewarded properly, there are going to be issues raised with the system. That's just kind of, that's how it works, and I completely understand that. But I think it's time to update things. So let's go over some solutions. Solutions-oriented person here. Let's figure out some stuff. Let's hash it out. And I'll go over a couple of suggestions, and then I'll give you what I think we need to do. And then, of course, we can debate this back and forth and, go nuts in the comments. That's fine. I don't care. Do your thing. Some have suggested keep the 5-judge panel, but you do Olympic-style scoring. Drop the high and lowest programs. Or drop the high and lowest scores. Now, fun fact, when you do TMEA Honor Band, they do that. They take high and lowest scores and they drop them. I think they do. Let me look that up. Actually, I think they do, yeah. High and low scores, they drop. So it's kind of exists, but it does, TMEA and UIL, it's kind of separate things. The problem with doing that in marching band is that what if your high and low scores are both your marching judges? So now you've got a program that is being scored only on their music. Can't do that. Or what if both high and low scores are in music? So now you've got 2 marching judges and 1 music judge that are evaluating the program. So that doesn't really work. I understand where they're coming from, but I don't think that just doesn't work properly. Suggestion that came up. Add more judges. So instead of 3 music, 2 marching, you add 2 more judges on each side. So you got 5 music, 4 marching. That's 9 judges. BOA uses 7, by the way. Keep that in mind. You drop high-low music, high-low visual, or marching, sorry, and you're down to 3 music judges, 2 marching judges. So think about that for a second. Number 1, cost. You have to pay more to get more judges there. Number 2, you went from 5 judges to 9 judges. So think about that. There were 9 areas at 6A. If my math and my abacus tell me correctly, you would have had to hire 36 more people for the area contest. That's a lot. And then there's no talk about changing the actual system. Everybody wants to blame the judges. People want to throw out accusations about tampering, cheating. Trust me, I've heard that for years. I've heard that for years and years and years. Although I think areas should do a little bit more due diligence and not hire people that have worked at programs that are participating in the contest. Just as a, hey, let's keep everything on the up and up so nobody can say anything. In turn, if it still happens, I think judges should recuse themselves. Happens in BOA all the time. Where judges get hired to do stuff and they said, hey, I actually designed for this show. I can't do it. And they recuse themselves. So areas need to take that responsibility too. They don't necessarily have to be from those judges don't necessarily have to be from the area. Keep that in mind. So that's a lot of people you got to hire. And plus, like I said, there's no talk about fixing the actual system. People want to blame the judges. People want to throw out accusations. People want to do all that stuff. The problem isn't the judges. The issue is the system. It is the system that needs some tweaking. You can't, to me, the sheets are a little bit too broad. And that's where you kind of get inconsistencies. You get three judges sitting down to evaluate music. Do you think they're going to be looking for the exact same thing at the exact same time? Probably not. So how do we fix it? What do we do? More judges, it's not cost effective, and there's no change to the actual system. Here's what you do. Here's how you fix UIL, or here's how you attempt to fix UIL. And like I said, no matter what the system is, if you think your program didn't get what they deserved, people are going to want to blow up the system regardless. Here's what I think you do. Keep your 5 judges. Keep 3 music, 2 marching. Keep the emphasis on music. I'm down with that. And no, we don't have to add the dreaded general effect into it. Because I know a lot of programs in Texas, the second they hear general effect, they think money, they think props, they think lights, and we have no shot. Here's how you fix it, or here's how you tweak it, or whatever you want to say. Whatever your position is on this, here's how you do it. Keep your 5 judges, 3 music, 2 marching. You got to go with captions. You have to go with captions. Your 2 marching judges, one of them needs to be on the field. The other one needs to be in the stands. Just like BOA. One on the field, one in the stands. Cool. Music. Put an individual judge on the field and have 2 people, and have your 2 other music judges sit in the stands. And you just evaluate ensemble. So you got one individual, and you keep the scoring system exactly how it is. You keep it exactly how it is. 1 individual music, 2 music ensemble. You can keep your rankings and everything. You don't have to. All you got to do is rewrite the sheets a little bit. We're not blowing up everything. We're messing with it a little bit to improve consistency. Individual music judge, 2 ensemble music judges. 1 individual judge, marching. 1 ensemble marching judge. How's that sound? How's that sound to you? So you kind of got like a hybrid BOA sort of thing where you have a music individual and a music visual judge. Because there are a lot of things that you can hear on the field that you can't necessarily hear in the press box. And if you don't believe me, watch any, and I mean any, GoPro head cam view. You know, it's interesting to see what a performer goes through visually and musically on the field, and what their responsibility is in terms of listening back and playing out, and how far back are you? Do you play loud? Do you play soft here? That sort of stuff. Break it up into captions. Keep the scoring system exactly how it is. Now you're going to have to do some training on this. Yes, absolutely. But I think this helps improve it helps improve the consistency. That way, instead of having 3 people agree on this massive sheet that has all of these bullet points on it, now you're breaking up the responsibility. Now the judges can focus on a little bit more. They have a little bit more central focus, because it just says music on there. Yeah, there's bullet points you got to hit. But the responsibility, I think, is too broad. And you got to narrow it down a little bit. And I think this helps everybody. Think about an individual marching judge for a military marching program. Their score is going to go through the roof. And typically, I mean, you would think a military marching program would be able to, get straight 1s in marching, and that's not always the case. I think the individual marching judge would help those programs out a lot. As far as individual music goes, you're looking at consistency from player to player. Are they all playing their horns? Do they all sound the same? Is the tone good? All that stuff. You got to break up the responsibility. It's too broad. and you save, and you're, as far as cost goes, you're not spending a ton of money on judges. And like I said, area judges need to need to step up their game and not just hire a bunch of people from just hire a bunch of people that know the programs. I get why they do it. I understand why they do it. But, you know, there's all sorts of stuff that go into that, and you know, you don't want to be a part of that. Go captions. Let's do captions. Why not? Why the heck not? I think you may see some experimentation soon in terms of how areas pick their state state participants. Maybe there'll be some sort of I don't know, experimentation. Maybe we add more judges, which I don't think is a good idea, but you know, people are going to do what they need to do. I still think you need to do captions. You got to break this down. Now, we've talked about this internally for a while. We really have. We notice that, like, we look at state finals, or we look at who made state finals. You look at the list, you're like, oh, cool, I agree with that. But it seems like the middle of the contest, like, it seems like every year, the programs that are just missing finals have the most to, I don't want to say complain or anything like that. They have the most beef with the system. When really, it's kind of that middle section. No matter how big the contest is, it's kind of that middle section that kind of gets jumbled up, and then you kind of see some odd numbers. You know, you may see a program that was 25th overall get a single-digit ranking from one judge, and then everybody else is consistent. So it's kind of like, who's right? Now, the majority may agree on one thing, but, I mean, who's to say that other judge wasn't wrong or right or whatever? And that's a result of the sheets. It's got to be broken down. So to recap, you go captions, you put an individual music judge on there, you put an individual marching judge on there, you have one ensemble marching, you have two ensemble music. That way you don't have three people trying to, you know, interpret one giant sheet. You have two people, at most, interpreting a sheet that is not as broad. No general effect. Now, it's written into the marching, I think it's written into the music or the marching sheet, either one of those. But it's a very, very small thing, and it's not its own caption. Because I know the second you mention general effect, people are going to throw up their hands and you know, they're going to try to storm City Hall. We don't want that. Got to caption this out. And like I said, no matter what the system is, if people think that their program didn't get what they deserve, they're going to want to burn the system down. I think this helps with consistency a little bit. I think this addresses many issues that programs have. And areas, like I said, areas got to take, they got to do their part here. Stop hiring people that, you know, have worked at the schools before. Don't do that. Because then you open yourself up to all sorts of stuff, and then I got to deal with it. Which I don't mind doing, but, I mean, it's something that could easily be avoided. I think I'm done here. So if you got comments, questions, anything like that, please shoot me messages. Please, let's talk about this. It's the off season. We got a lot to do. If there's something you want me to talk about, you want me to tell stories from the past, you want me to tell about State 2002, the rain out at state finals, if you want me to fix other problems, you want me to talk about whatever, comments, questions, please find me. Please make sure to subscribe and listen and do all that stuff and share with your friends. It's been an incredible 2018 season. We've had a lot of support, a lot, but more support than we've ever had in the history of this website. And more support than I've ever had, probably in my entire life. So, you know, I got all sorts of great stuff to share with you all during the off season. I'm not going anywhere. Probably be back next week with something. Again, you want to hear something specific, come find me. Thank you so much for listening. I'm out of here. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.